The night lay still over Ouagadougou. Too still. There was something off about it. President Ibrahim Traoré stood silently by the Grand Palace window, staring out at the sleeping city, its lights dim like whispers in the dark. The wind blew, dry, sharp and filled with dust, yet beneath that usual dryness, he felt a chill, not of cold but of warning. Something wasn't right. And he knew it. Something in the air had changed. For weeks now, strange events had crept into the shadows. Top-secret military strategies. Private meetings meant for only a few ears. Suddenly they weren't so private. Enemies from the outside seemed to move too smoothly, speak too accurately, like they knew the playbook. Ibrahim knew this wasn't coincidence. This wasn't bad luck. It was betrayal. A traitor was close. Closer than anyone dared to admit. He could feel it, deep in his gut like a storm waiting to break. Burkina Faso had fought its way out of foreign claws. Ibrahim had done what many wouldn't. He had expelled foreign forces, reclaimed the gold that once bled from their earth, taken back their land, and more importantly, he gave the people their voice again. But power never lets go quietly, does it? The global giants, humiliated and angered, had changed their masks. They were back, not with armies but with spies. Whispers in the dark. Deals made in smoke. And they were inside the palace. Then one night a message arrived. Urgent, quiet, unsettling. Captain Nabazongo, a sharp young soldier with eyes like fire, had stumbled onto something unexpected. He was stationed in the north monitoring radio chatter, routine work. But what he picked up was anything but routine. Buried inside a harmless-looking farming report was a coded message. Not about crops or rainfall. Held maps. Held names. It held secrets that only the president's inner circle should have access to. That was the final straw. Ibrahim called a midnight meeting. No phones. No outside communication. Only his most trusted allies were invited into that room. Captain Zongo laid the documents on the table. Heavy papers. Heavy truth. Then he said it, clear, sharp, unshakable. The traitor has a name. And then he said it. Colonel Desire Ouattara. Silence. Cold, bitter silence. True's old friend. His brother-in-arms. A man he once trusted with his very life. Now exposed as the enemy in their ranks. The same man who sat by his side every morning. Who laughed in his presence, who knew every line of Burkina Faso's defense strategy, like the back of his own hand. A glacier seemed to pass through the room. No one spoke. No one dared move. Ibrahim, calm on the outside but burning inside, spoke softly. No one touches him, he said. No one arrests him. Not yet. He took in a long, heavy breath. If there's a snake in this house, we don't crush it just yet. First, we follow it back to its nest. And so, the hunt began. The next few days felt like walking barefoot through fire. President Ibrahim went about his routine. Smiling, shaking hands, giving speeches, holding press briefings. But behind the mask he was alert. Watching. Listening. Every word from Ouattara. Every glance. Every pause. The colonel acted calm, too calm. His smile was perfectly measured. But something about it screamed wrong. Meanwhile, Ibrahim's private task force moved in the shadows. Led by Captain Zongo, a team of fiercely loyal soldiers began tracking Ouattara's movements. They listened to his phone calls, tracked his vehicle, documented his meetings. And what they uncovered chilled them to the bone. Colonel Ouattara had been slipping out of the palace at odd hours. Always in a black vehicle. No security detail. No trace. Each time he returned without a word. But he always went to the same quiet street. Small house. Too close to the French embassy to be coincidence. From the outside it looked empty. Forgotten. But Ibrahim knew. It was a spy nest. A den of shadows. The team planted a camera across the road. Hidden in plain sight. And one night they got it. Crystal clear. Ouattara entered the house and met with two foreign men in suits. One American. One European. They handed him a black suitcase. In return, he passed them a thick envelope, a file. Inside that file, the president's entire travel schedule for the coming month. That was it. Undeniable proof. Caught in the act, Ibrahim sat alone in his darkened office, watching the footage. His fists clenched tight. The pain wasn't just betrayal. It was heartbreak. This was the man who had once taken a bullet for him, who had once sworn to defend this land with blood. And now, he was selling them out like a street merchant flipping stolen watches. But Ibrahim didn't shout. He didn't scream. He got smart. He picked up the phone and said just 2 words to Captain Zongo. "It's time." The trap was set. The next day, Ouattara was summoned to a meeting at the defense headquarters. Top floor. He walked in, his face calm, casual. But there were no greetings, no smiles, only 10 armed soldiers. And Ibrahim Traoré, standing at the head of the room, waiting. Ouattara's face twitched. Just a little. His smile vanished. "You were my brother," Ibrahim said, his voice echoing like a storm. "Why?" Ouattara stayed silent. Ibrahim stepped closer. "You sold your country for what? Dollars. Sweet words. A seat in their house. You think they'll protect you?" Still no reply. Zongo placed the black suitcase on the table and opened it. Trackers. Hidden USB drive. Ibrahim's voice turned ice cold. "You're not going to prison. You're going to talk." And then silence. Heavy. Final. The storm was now inside the building. Ouattara sat alone in a cold underground room. No windows. No sense of time. No food. No sleep. 2 full days of silence. He was no longer the proud colonel. He looked hollow. Ibrahim stood behind a one-way mirror. Expressionless. But inside, his heart was cracking. This was someone he once called family. Now, a ghost in chains. Captain Zongo walked in, placed the USB on the table. "We opened it," he said. "It's all there. Every file. Every secret you gave them." Ouattara stared down at his hands. "You don't have to speak," Zongo said gently. "But when they find out you've been caught, they'll dump you. They'll cut you off like trash. They never cared about you." Time passed. And then, finally, Ouattara spoke. Quiet. Shaking. He told them everything. The foreign agents had approached him a year ago. First compliments, then cash. Then promises of a house in Paris. A job with the UN. Power. All he had to do was help them. After Ibrahim fell, they wanted Burkina Faso back under their control. The gold. The land. Politics. Everything. "I thought they'd protect me," he whispered. "But I see now, they used me." Ibrahim entered the room. He sat across from Ouattara. They looked at each other. Warrior to fallen warrior. "You didn't just betray me," Ibrahim said calmly, his voice like steel. "You betrayed them, the mothers in the villages. The children. The soldiers out there dying for our future." Ouattara looked down. "I'm sorry," he said, barely a whisper. Ibrahim stood tall. "You'll answer for what you've done." Atmosphere. The tension is real. Ouagadougou at night feels alive. Dusty wind, eerie silence. It's vivid and immersive. Characterization. Ibrahim Traoré is a compelling protagonist. Strong, calm, morally firm yet human. Captain Zongo is a solid supporting hero. Ouattara's betrayal feels heartbreaking and real. Themes. Sovereignty, loyalty, resistance to foreign manipulation. Big, timely ideas handled in a grounded way. Language. Direct, emotional, type prose. Minimalist but evocative. That's a great tone for a story like this. Wrench suggestions. 1. Add clarity and paragraph breaks. Some sections are a bit dense. Breaking up the text into cleaner, shorter paragraphs would help readability and punch, especially during emotional or action-heavy moments. Example. Ibrahim's eyes narrowed. His jaw tightened. That was it. He gave the order. Like ghosts in the night, Zongo's team moved in. 2. Deepen Ouattara's motives slightly. He's already compelling, but even one short paragraph showing why he started to crack: fear, resentment, ambition, could make his betrayal hurt even more. 3. Lean into imagery during the climax. When Reed is arrested or when Ibrahim gives his speech, you could slow time just a little. Describe the air, the expressions, the silence. It will make those moments hit even harder.